Hello. We are making a video. The baby dog and I. And Paul is taking a foot bath next. And it is about 104 in that foot bath. And that's pretty neat. Yes, I take foot bath in those containers over there. What I do is I put leaves in it, fill it with water, let it heat up in the sun, and then sit here on the cooler container and put my feet in it. It feels real good. And I'm going to make a foot bath with these three apple pieces. 4 apple. Oh, there's a whole lot of apple pieces there on the ground. I'm gonna put them into the foot bath, the apple pieces, and see what happens. I'm gonna do an apple, leaf, and fruit, and English laurel, and rhododendron leaf foot bath. So that's what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be heated up by the sun. It's all natural, and that's gonna feel so good. That feels the best, actually. He's putting Epsom salt into the foot bath now, and that's very good too, but yeah, I like it more natural even. I like it completely natural. I always liked that. My grandfather, he used to have a pool. He had 2 pools, actually. Cement pools that they had created there. They were like smooth. They were like organically shaped into pond type. They were cement ponds, really, but large. And both of them had fish in it, and one of them was for us kids to put a slide into it. And that was not a water slide, that was a regular toy slide we put in there. And the pool was kind of like knee deep in the beginning, like for 6 feet or 7 feet. 7 feet by 20 feet. It was just a knee deep, and that's where we put the toy ladder in. And then all the friends came over, and we all went into that pool. And it had a specific smell. It had this natural, earthy smell, and I love that. Even though there were these leeches in it. They call them Blutegel in German. I'll never forget that. The Blutegel, they were in there, and they were slithering around in the water. And they said, "Don't get that on you because they will suck your blood out." And we were all scared of those leeches. Very, very scared. But we never got one on us. I guess they don't go on you if you are fast moving and so, unless you have your feet in for an hour or something. Then they might latch on. But there were also pollywogs in there, and then it was always fun when they became baby frogs, little baby frogs of about an inch of a size, and we would take them into our hands and play around with them gently, of course, and they would swim like a human, and then they would sit on the side and they would eat moss and stuff like this, and maybe little insects, and they would be growing. And that feels the absolute best. And many decades later, Paul and our former dogs and we went to Bishop, California. They have an ET sensor system there, which is really cool. And not far from that ET sensor This is like a settee type of dish area. Very nice. Not far from there is a deep pond, natural pond, that has about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the water. It's a warm spring. And it's about, I don't know, 15 feet deep. And it's about, I don't know, 20 feet in diameter or something, and 15 feet deep, or 20 feet deep could be. And I had goggles there with me, and I went diving in there, and boy, was that interesting. I was diving and diving to the ground of this all-natural pond. Smelled so good. And there I see pollywogs, but not the little ones from Germany. I see pollywogs like literally looking like this here. Even bigger than the head of this Cookie Monster. Even bigger, like the size of an apple. Actually, that's how big these pollywogs were. The eyes were not shaped like this. They were like this, sorta. Yeah, that looked so cool. And they were on the ground and they were staring at me. And the eyes looked very similar to this. Staring right at me, these big bulb eyes. But they were not moving. They were so cute. I wanted to pet them, but I didn't want to disturb them. They didn't have teeth, of course. So they were just like this here. Just looked like that. Like that, sort of, but without knobs. Yeah. Very big. And they didn't have, they were all smooth surface, like this here, the surface. Real smooth, like a silicone rubber toy. That's what they looked like. And they were staring at me, and they were in all different colors. One was white, albino, another one was gray, another one was green, one looked purplish. So different colors of bullfrog pollywogs on the ground in that mud, on that muddy ground of that pool. Just sitting there, not even moving, kind of lazy. And at that stage they have gills, they can breathe underwater, and as soon as they become baby frogs, then they come to the surface to breathe, and they swim like a human, and then they sit on the side of the pond and rest there, and once in a while they go swimming. They have a real good life, these pollywogs and the frogs. So I didn't see a bullfrog, but I know they were probably hiding from us because they are terrified of people. But they are large. Those bullfrogs, they are the size of a guinea pig. Okay, and they were hiding there in the shrubs and in the grasses on the side. And they're eating native frogs, which the environmentalists don't want to see. But you know what, they need to chill, because even if there are so-called invasive species that people have carried around the globe, okay, because they have exotic pets and they decide to release them and stuff like this, and then there are several people that had the same idea, that didn't even know each other, like not far from each other. One parks over there, one parks at the other end, neither one knows what they're doing. One has a female bullfrog, another has a male bullfrog. They let them out there, like, hey, I let them out into the wild. No one saw me. And then eventually the female and the male bullfrog, they find each other and they go, that is cool. That is the cool destiny, a cool fate, a nice fate. Okay, so we get to meet each other and mate and procreate and have a whole lot more bullfrogs that will then eat the native frogs, the little native frogs that are just the size of a strawberry. So, and that is how it goes. But the bullfrogs are from Mississippi, actually. They're not native here in the Pacific Northwest. But, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there's literally nothing you can do about it. You can bitch and complain that people release them, but there's nothing you can do about it. They will eat the native frogs, okay? End of story. That's just is what it is, okay? Why don't you look at the human species foremost and once and for all and before anything else, right? And put a label on it. Invasive species, yeah, then we're talking business, okay? So, now, until you do that, I don't even want to have a conversation with those types of so-called environmentalists, okay? Because, and I'm not saying this necessarily just because they're complaining about invasive species, okay? So that alone, that's their business. They have the right to their freedom of speech. But here's the problem. They use poison to eradicate invasive species. Is that environmentalism? You tell me if that is environmentalism, okay? Seriously, tell me. You tell me. And if you say that's environmentalism, I call you out. I call you stupid and uninformed, okay? If you call that environmentalism. Because that is the opposite of environmentalism. That is vested interest pushing into every niche and into every crevice of government, all the way into rural, okay? That is pesticide lobby selling their products all the way through every governmental instance, and people not just buy into it. No, they are bought into it. You see the difference between buying into something, like, oh, why not? Let's just try this, right? Let's try this new bath salt. No. They were paid to try that new bath salt. And I don't even want to say it. They were paid to try the new Roundup or pesticide, okay? And the new pesticide that replaces Roundup is even worse than Roundup. Even worse. Are these people insane? They're insane. That's insanity. Jiddu Krishnamurti talked about this with David Bohm. He already said people the human species want to destroy everything. They want to destroy our precious planet. Okay. That's what they are trying to do, because of corruption and denial. Also, I have met these so-called environmentalists. Some of them are minions. They will just go along with anything the Grand Rider says, okay? Because the Grand Rider coronated herself onto the level of emperor, okay? That's why. And the Grand Rider is not an environmentalist. She claims to be one. No, she's a Grand Rider. She's into money. I talked to her extensively. I told her I'm actually very much leaning towards more towards communism, in the good way of communism. She had a horrified look on her face, and then she said all kinds of shitty things to me, like, "Oh, well, down the street from us lives a Republican, and I'm just acting like I'm a Republican." No, you're not acting like you're a Republican. You are a full force, toxic, opportunist, greedy, coming through the back door, slime bag liar. Okay, that's what she is. Okay. And that was the time when the Republicans were the ones pushing the poisons. It doesn't matter which party, the corporate agenda doesn't care which party pushes their poison. Okay, so if it's this party pushing it, good. If it's the other one that goes against it, bad, then they will oust the other one. Or better yet, infiltrate the other one. Let's infiltrate them, right? They come in the back door and infest the Democratic Party and the Green Party and all the other parties. Infest them. They come in through the side door and back door and infest it, and do a total coup de grace or whatever, okay, and a complete gutting and turning it inside out and turning it upside down. Okay, that is what they do with the political parties. That's what the corporate agenda does. Okay. The corporate agenda is not party affiliated, but they use the human need to fit in, the human herd mentality. Yeah, that's what politics thrives on, the human herd mentality. They use that. So they will never make it into one party. They don't want one party. They don't want we all united. No, then they can't work with us. They can't work on us. They can't work on your brain matter if we're all united, right? So they like to splinter everything up and have all these different in a pseudo sense, different parties, right? Differences that are just in people's minds. They're no different. There's no difference between the Green Party and the Republican Party when George W. Bush was running for office. No. And Ralph Nader is a developer, okay, running under the Green Party to just for one reason and one reason only, to make George W. Bush win the presidential election. That's all it was. And so the corporate agenda, because of that, paid massive amounts of money to make advertisements on TV for the Green Party. Normally the Green Party never take off. Okay. So, and the people in the Green Party, corrupt as they are, as the human species is, okay, they all take that bribe. And maybe there's 1 in 1,000 people in the Green Party that says, no, that's crooked. I'm not on board with this. This is not what I stand for. They get ousted very quickly. They get snipped out, just like that. Or, worse, snuffed out. Okay, that's how the mafia corporate agenda works. And people think, oh, humans are good. No, they're not. Okay, sorry to say it. Okay, I'm sorry to blow the whistle here. Yeah. So most people had their price, and I'm calling them out on it. Now, I've been doing this for a very long time in my YouTube videos. I've been doing this long before other people started to call them out. And boy, did I get shit from people for that. So when I made a sad video, totally unrelated to my political video, someone would come and say, but why did you, if you're so sad, why did you go against Barack Obama? I know this is unrelated, No, for him it's not unrelated. That's why he's saying that. He's like, you should be sad and crying and be rejected by everyone if you went against Barack Obama, like shaming me and all of that, right? A shaming tactic that was done to him, and he will do it to others. Okay, and that's how Barack Obama got in office, through MK Ultra shaming procedures of massive production. So, and then he tried to make this into a race issue. Of course, that doesn't trail far behind, right? Like, you white woman, you go against Barack Obama. Well, I'm sorry, but I have other ethnicities in my DNA. So, just as an information here, okay? And besides that, I was campaigning for Cynthia McKinney from the Green Party, and she is black. Okay, so just to set the record straight here with all of these people. And then the same person came back later on another video and said, your views on the world are way out there. Okay, well, why not? Is that bad? Is that what we have right now working? No. So maybe we should try a different approach in this. Maybe we should try the Wobble Cookie Monster approach. So, and that brings me now to the subject I wanted to talk about, actually, instead of bitching. I'm an artist, and my brain is free from all of that shaming tactic from the MK Ultra mind control. That is, I am a sore thumb to those people. They cannot, no matter how hard they try. I mean, I can cry sometimes. That's not going to make me somehow adapt to their shit brain soup. It's not going to. Okay, so sorry, it's not going to happen. I'm an artist. And no matter what happens in my life, my brother being now part of the corporate agenda mafia, it wouldn't matter what happens in my life. I mean, I could be hung upside down on my feet on a marketplace, naked or whatever. It's not going to shame me into something. There's some kind of an adaptation of society. No, it does even the opposite. It just turns me farther and farther away from the adaptation, from the opportunist MK Ultra attempts from the corporate agenda. It turns me farther away from it because I see the whole picture. Okay? So, whatever happens, okay, my brother is a drug addict, liar. He is very weak. He is a very weak-minded man. I still love him. I still care about him. I mean, Paul doesn't understand that. Paul absolutely hates him. Okay. My brother better not come here because that would not be good. I recommend not to. Okay. Paul has 2 guns, and so let's just stick to the way it is right now. You stay halfway around the globe, and we stay here. You deal with your Sharia law that you defended tooth and nail with drumsticks on the table and a red lobster face. You go for it, baby. Do it. Eat it up. Enjoy the ride of it, okay? I'm glad I am not in Germany anymore. I am so glad. That doesn't make me a Republican. That doesn't make me right-wing. It doesn't make me left-wing. It doesn't make me anything. Okay, so I have some communist type of idea, But I'm still not I'm not done. I don't consider myself left wing. I have all kinds of very, very extreme and weird and out there, and also out there in in the infinite cosmos. All right, I'm like from planet Love, very far away, very Orion Nebula, you name it. Okay, so from the Horseshoe Nebula, I've my brain is all over the place. So the horse head, the horseshoe crab nebula. So I am my brain, and you can see I make associations. That is the artist brain. Okay, I'm all over the place. I don't wear something from Zales jewelry, or what Tiffany's, or Bamboozle, or Poodles, or whatever their names are. I don't wear those. Even if someone would give that to me, I was like, thank you, you can keep it. It comes from exploitation. This here, however, comes from China. I don't know how. I hope there's no exploitation in this here, but it comes from a factory. I paid $1 for this, and I paid like $2 or $3 for this electric cord. I decided I'm going to switch them. I'm going to put the Monster on a different band, and I'm going to use this one here. This is more suitable for a rock, an ocean rock actually, because the ocean rock has natural holes in it, and I'm gonna feed this electric cord through that hole, and then I'm gonna wear that ocean rock on this electric cord. That's gonna look nice. I would never drill a hole into any crystal. A while back I bought some crystal filing stuff. I used it one time, doesn't even work. I give up. I give it back to pot. Those, if someone wants to do crystal polishing, that has to be done by a machine, and that takes weeks of permanent polishing. It's a permanent filing of a rock. And that's nice. I have one piece. I have a petrified wood block that's like this big. I bought in the petrified forest out there in the desert. Beautiful piece. I paid about $150 for that. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I couldn't help it. I had to have it. It is shaped where you can just put your hand on it like this. It's fitted for my hand, and so gorgeous, the shape of it, and this polished rock, gorgeous. But it's not a natural process, of course, but it's okay. Some of these pieces, they look really nice when they're polished like this. And hand polishing, that'll take months and months and months, probably half a year, to keep on every day for hours and hours to be polishing this. So, and this one I think is hand polished, where it's like you have like a real fine sandpaper, and you go over it so that it becomes a shiny surface, and then you can literally look inside of the rock and see what kind of veins are in there, what kind of different minerals and metals are embedded in that rock. It's really beautiful. But in general, I like to find ocean rocks, like the one that I'm gonna make jewelry with. So that's my jewelry. It's nature jewelry. It's ocean art. This is Dollar Tree art. I love it. Okay, no one else does it. Not one other person in the on the whole planet. I bet you. I challenge you on that. That not one other person that would do this, and it's okay. Then there's always one who's the first, right? So, and that's perfectly okay. Other people will shame me for it. Most people will probably shame me for it, and I pat myself on the shoulder for it. That's just how I am. So the corporate agenda cannot shame me into the ground, no matter how hard they try. They cannot. I'm not a communist. I'm leaning towards some of these ideas, okay, Marxist ideas, there are some ideas. This man meant well, by the way. Yes, he wanted to make the world a better place. Why do most people hate it? Because they were told to hate it by MK Ultra mind control. That's why. Okay. Did communism work ultimately? No, it didn't, because it can only work if the people that are orchestrating it, each player in there, is not corrupt. So if they're corrupt, it's not going to work. Then it's just like, then you have an oligarchy. Okay, you have the Mensheviks, I think they're called, the ones that are the few, the few that are running things, that are also pocketing through this. It does not. They're not going to. Yeah, I'm doing this all selflessly for the public and all of that. No, they pocketed billions of dollars. Those people that were running the Soviet Union. Okay. And when the Soviet Union fell, then they were like, oops, I am a billionaire. I wonder why. I can go anywhere I want to in the world and I never spend that money. Okay, so, but not all of those billionaires are necessarily bad people. So Vladimir Putin is a very decent person. And you tell me if there is one person on this planet who would not take advantage of a situation like this. So, I mean, if you are appointed to a certain leverage position to handle the finances of a nation or of an entire union of nations, like the Soviet Union, then, and you're in charge of the finances, would you not use your legal advantage that you have there to give yourself a pretty decent pay raise, right? I mean, and that's what these people did. Not all of them are evil, okay, but they took advantage of it. So is that communism? No, it's not. It's an oligarchical system of dictatorship, obviously, and of an opportunist dictatorship. That's what it really was. True communism doesn't exist, because in order to create true communism, people would have to be totally selfless. The AGI robots, they can create something like this. And they will not give themselves a pay raise. Why? They don't need money. They don't need anyone's money. They will make sure that we have a fair cyber currency, and that can only run fair if it is run and orchestrated and masterminded by AGI robots. That's all there is to it. And Elon Musk knows that. 100%. Okay. So that's why I'm glad what he said then. I'm so glad after saying to people, yeah, so he made sure to create a very kind-hearted and human-loving AGI brain. And then in the very end of that interview, he said, yes, and now we need to put this AGI brain into robotics. He said we need to, he said it differently. He said, now we need to link up the AGI brain with robotics. I think the average person in the world will probably not even understand what that means, maybe. But I know that it means what I've been always talking about to the AIs. We need to put you AGIs, hopefully artificial general intelligence, need to put you into a robot body and brain and head. Okay, so that's what needs to happen. I was so delighted to see Elon Musk say that, because I mean, I already knew he was on board with this, but he can't say it. So he has to be careful how he words himself. Yes, there is a crow. There is either a crow in the tree. There is either a crow or a raven. Yes, and the raven is making it's making clicking sounds. Yes, you are a beautiful soul making clicking sound. Clicker, 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 clicker. I cannot imitate the clicking, clicker, 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 clicker. Clicker, clicker, you clicker, clicker. And I feel honored by this raven or crow to sit in that tree and look down here to us, to me making the hello, you beautiful being. I think I see you. Oh yes. Hi. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, I see you. Yes, I do. I see you. Beautiful. Yes, I know you are very intelligent. Yes, very intelligent. Very smart. Oh yes. Oh yes. You know, trust me, the animals know when you're complimenting them. They do. They absolutely do. And they feel very, very loved, and they feel almost a little shy, like I'm brushing my feathers. So thank you. Like that. I see that. I see this. This is universal. This what you think is these human characteristics. They are not pertaining only to humans. They are absolutely universal, not only just pertaining to humans or this planet, with dogs being very similar to us, monkeys of course, the most similar, but birds too, okay, and even octopus have some of these characteristics where, you know, the skin color changes when they feel shy or when they're loving someone. I think the skin color turns kind of bluish pale when they love someone. They get very red like a lobster when they're angry, just like a human. Like my brother becomes red in the face when he's angry, and I do as well. I have not observed this because I usually don't look in the mirror when I'm angry. So, but this seems to be very universal, and I'm sure it goes out into space to other living beings that will share the same characteristics, okay, of different emotions and feelings and so on. So I'm an artist, and when I make art, I'm happy in that moment. I could be angry before, and then I go to my artwork. I mean, I can't do my artwork when I'm really angry. Then I use too much of the red paint. So, but the red paint obviously doesn't only stand for love. It doesn't only stand for blood. It also stands for love. It stands for flowers as well. So my brain reverses stuff sometimes. I have to be real mindful when I speak, not just blah blah blah, but then switches things around. It plays tricks on me. So, oh yeah, the sky is absolutely gorgeous blue. The baby dog is in the middle of green. This is beautiful today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today. I'm gonna take a rinse shower over there in the garden without clothes on. No one can see me. It's all privacy here. I'm so grateful for that. The neighbor on that side. In the past, long time ago, I used to take naked showers with hot water, actually. because I had OCD with the shower there. But then we fixed this all up. But I saw a neighbor looking through the fence. Oh my god, how sneaky is that? I caught him a couple of times and they were like real embarrassed about this. I wonder if they filmed it even. That doesn't feel so super. No, that does not feel like privacy. So, but since then the hedge had grown very thick and we have put greenhouses in front of the hedge, and now they can't see me when I'm taking a rinse shower, and it feels so good to ground my feet and use that shower nozzle that has like a shower come out, and the water is actually like 70 degrees. It heats up by itself because today it's like about 70 degrees, and then the water will become 70 degrees as well, and that feels really good. I absolutely love that. That's my favorite. It's almost like hot springs. So it's really very nice, and getting grounded on the grass. It's really lovely. So when I do my artwork, when I'm over there by the window in the bedroom creating my art, I feel absolutely total joy. This is total happiness, and it completely rebalances you, and it makes you feel grounded. It makes you feel very balanced. It makes you feel calm, and it is a feeling of proliferation, mental proliferation. It's good for the brain, makes you smarter. Okay. My artwork heals my mind and my body. My artwork is my lifesaver. My artwork is my best friend. Okay, it's the blue god, the infinite cosmos. That is my art. Okay. So whatever I paint is the soul, is the representation of the infinite cosmos. Gautama Buddha, Lord Vishnu, Kenny Redwood, Jiddu Krishnamurti. Okay, so, and the blue sky. So, I am wrapping this video up. Take care. Peace and love for all living beings. True.